Hello, everybody out there. Glad to connect with you. If you were on the previous live stream, my apologies for the technical difficulties. We are launching a new live stream, and I'm glad that you guys are here for this one. Welcome in here. Today is going to be how your partner affects your mental health. It's the live Q&A following up on that video from last month. If you saw that video, and I hope that you did, you understand that your partner's behaviors and your attachment issues can all impact your long-term mental health. And today, I'm going to be answering some of the biggest questions from the comments section to show you exactly what to expect and what you can do about it. You guys asked those questions, and I popped in and I grabbed them, and I'm going to go through them here today. Thank you, Arkian. Good to see you. Guys, I apologize. I've actually been streaming for about 20 minutes, and I was wondering why very few people were in there, and it was you guys waiting and waiting. For some reason, YouTube has been glitching out on me about 50% of the time when I try to stream now. So if you ever see the stream running and I'm not there, please tell me immediately. We'll take care of each other. Thank you, guys. Yep, here's the live stream. Glad to see you guys in here. Welcome. Here we go. Today's conversation, all about how your partner is affecting your mental health. Again, this isn't to demonize partners or people with bad attachment challenges. This is if you have attachment challenges and you're not fully self-regulated, people are going to impact you largely. If the other person's behaviors are large and disruptive, they will also likely impact you. And if both are going on, you've probably got quite a lot of dysregulation going on, and your mental health is probably suffering for it. So I'm here to talk to you guys about that. Two pieces here today. Welcome in, Archeon Signy. Glad to see you, Auti Muse. Good to have you here, Strigoi, and Arpita. Glad you guys are all here from India. Wonderful. Well, welcome. Thank you so much. Today, those questions. I'm going to be going in. You guys picked questions. You posted questions in the comment sections. You upvoted those questions. So I see that you guys really, really liked some of those questions. We're going to go through them. We're going to answer them. We're going to be doing that in a public place. Can't hear, but streaming later. Totally fine. Totally cool. Don't worry. My replays are always up as well. You can always watch the replays, and a lot of you watch those. Thousands of you rewatch them. My masterclass, I think, has something like 8,000 replays just from late last week. So you guys are welcome in here. All right, here's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to go through the comment section for how your partner is affecting your mental health. I'm going to answer the questions you guys asked and you guys upvoted. So these come from you, and I know that they were useful to you, and you were really looking at them close. In here, person named Toughen Up Princess. That's a heck of a name. There you go. Ask this question. Why does dating an avoidant feel like he's not interested? Even though I'm not chasing, I feel like I am because I have to initiate conversations and meetups, which is always met with enthusiasm. Hence, every now and then he shows some interest, but I want him to initiate. He says he's interested too, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way. This is a little bit like when you buy a corgi, you can't complain that there's hair shedded everywhere through your house. Okay. Remember that the thing that makes a human being compelled to seek another person and give and receive affection is oxytocin. It is a compulsive bonding hormone that securely attached mammals have on purpose to make us want to connect. We've actually found that when you take new fathers with newborns and you shoot oxytocin spray up their nose, it vastly increases their displays of affection, playing, talking, interacting a huge amount. So we know that this is compulsive. Avoidant men with avoidant attachment style, their sympathetic nervous system is activated chronically, and they're hypervigilant every time they're around other people, which blocks their oxytocin receptors. So they cannot be receiving oxytocin bonding. This is why they look cold, disinterested, and disconnected. Now, women are hypervigilant around tracking exact levels. How often does he text me? How many emojis does he use? Did he hold my hand? Did he look at me for how many seconds? Did he kiss me? Did he blah, blah, blah? And women are endlessly tracking it because most women don't have the luxury of swabbing him and testing it in a lab to determine his exact oxytocin levels. If women could, they would. Instead, they're doing behavioral swabbing. They're endlessly tracking on a spreadsheet how many times he's initiated versus she's initiated various interactions. Remember that avoidant men won't. Not because they don't like it, because they lack the compulsive chemical that should make them do it. What they have instead? Dopamine. Now, dopamine reacts to a perceived need or a lack. So he will come to you when he's hungry for dopamine, but he won't be compulsively seeking that connection with you the way that a socially integrated mammal could and should that we would expect. So again, if you're going to get a corgi, understand there's going to be hair everywhere. And if you're choosing to engage with an avoidant partner, understand that their initiation is going to be chronically low for quite some time. Now, should he be working on this? Well, yes, everybody should be working on their challenges and becoming more secure. And that should initiate more bonding for him because his sympathetic nervous system is calmed in your presence. I have videos on this. His oxytocin receptors open, he begins to experience it with you, and now over time he will slowly begin to track it and be with you more, and want to be with you more. But remember that his oxytocin receptors are likely shifted away from oxytocin at first toward vasopressin, so they have to gradually shift back. So even his capacity for oxytocin bonding is going to be biologically, neurologically low. So again, if you're choosing to be with an avoidant partner, understand that this is the process. You can and should be working on it. You shouldn't have to just be like, well, I guess I'll just never feel loved. No, that's not the point either. You do need to understand this is a challenge you're taking on. And yes, again, he should be also working on this if you guys are going to be in a mutually fulfilling relationship, especially for his own quality of life. That will go up as he increases that. So hope that's helpful. At the end of this, I'm going to go through, by the way, all these questions that we've done here. And at the end of this, I'm going to open up members only chat so that you members who are supporting this channel, you can ask me your priority questions as well. I want to make sure you guys don't feel forgotten. Okay. I have other questions on here. Just pardon me a moment. I'm going to go through them and tag them here. Question: what's your number one video for introducing an avoidant to attachment theory that's designed to avoid overwhelming them and get them interested to learn more? A lot of upvotes. Okay, so the one I like the most is really underperformed here on this video, on this channel, because the name is so technical. It's called the biochemistry of avoidant attachment style. This is an amazing video. It just lays out clear, exact biochemistry. It is an amazing academic lecture, if you want to think of it that way. A lot of people didn't watch it because it's not a very sexy title. The biochemistry of avoidant attachment style. Very few people are going to want to look at that. It's not a clickbait title like how to make him bond to you with sex, which is one of the highest performing videos on this channel. But watching the biochemistry of avoidant attachment style with him can be amazing. I do have a live stream called Why High Performing Men Die Young, which is a magnet for avoidantly attached men and barely mentions the word avoidant at all until you're already into it and just describes it as this is a pattern of behavior called avoidant attachment style. I also have a number of new videos coming very soon that showcase the anxious and avoidant dynamic. And you can watch that with him and say, hey, this is a video about me and my experiences and challenges. They're things I'm working on. And you can just watch it just so you know what's going on. So you have some mental clarity and it'll show us what we can do differently together as well. Okay. So the first quarter, the first maybe third is you. And he's like, oh, you do this. Oh, yeah, this is you. Okay. That's why that makes sense. Then we get to his portion. He's like, oh, I'm part of this too, huh? And then it'll start reflecting. And the last third is what to do about it to build a fulfilling, trusting, lasting relationship that's peaceful for both of you. And that's meant to walk him through that process as well. So that's going to be coming here pretty quick. Okay. Somebody called me Alan in the comments. I get Alan a lot. I think it's a typo. I also get Matt a lot. Strangely, I have most of my life. I don't know. I've known very few Matts in my life, but I always get called Matt. Do I look like a Matt? Chat, let me know. Do I look like a Matt? All right, question here from Shiro Cheese. Hey, Adam, thanks for allowing us to ask questions. Cool. I've been examining myself for a few weeks now, and I think I'm a quiet disorganized. Okay. And a lot of you guys recognize that through those videos. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. One of my dearest friends is an avoidant. I think so. Okay. I've recognized how my behaviors could have triggered some of his avoidance. Good self-awareness. I want to apologize for my own past actions since I've recognized a few. Probably more will pop over time. Okay. That's useful. However, my dilemma is how to go about it. Or should I? I don't know if he'll understand me or if he's ready to hear me out. Or should I do it for myself? Partly, I'm afraid that's Shiro, much love. So I'm gonna keep reading, but this is an example of the quiet, disorganized thinking right here. Like, I recognized I did something wrong. I should apologize for it. But wait. And then like the overthinking starts, right? And like, oh God, but I'm going to be a burden. How dare I even think about apologizing? I am a monster. I'm going to read this out. Let's keep going. Or should I? I don't know if he'll understand or if he's ready to hear me out. Or should I do it for myself? Partly, I'm afraid that's me trying to control the situation by apologizing. How dare you? The other part of me is afraid he'll blame himself. If I apologize, he'll blame himself. If I do apologize, how much do I explain of myself and how much is unnecessary when saying sorry? How can I not inconvenience someone by apologizing? Chat, is this you? Do you guys recognize this? Does it sound familiar? Is there such a thing as over explaining? I feel it's possible because maybe it can make the other person overwhelmed. Or maybe they'll appreciate all the additional info since I usually keep everything to myself. I don't know. Anyways, and then they trail off. This right here is the quiet, disorganized thought process of, oh no, there's a problem. I should apologize. But wait, that would be a burden, but it might bother them. But here's all the ways it could go wrong. Oh God, what have I done? Wait, what if I've always done it wrong? Wait, I'm a monster. How dare I even? And they just, and then what they do, the vagus nerve, they experience vagal dorsal shutdown and they freeze, the freeze response. They get paralyzed because the brain is just overamped and can't do it. And then they freeze and they do nothing. And then externally, no one has any idea that this struggle is going on. So everyone else says, wow, they just stopped talking to me. They just quit speaking to me. Everything's been awkward for 3 months. I don't know why. I guess they're just not interested in me anymore. And inside, they're like, how do I apologize without ruining his life? Is almost like the question. So, Shiro, much love. Thank you for being that honest and that revealing in that comment. I appreciate you. Chat, again, if this is you, hey, shout it out. Let me know. Okay, here's what you need to know. The proper pathway for an apology that does not overwhelm somebody, that grows their respect for you, but also grows trust. Okay? Follow along with me. Hey, I've recognized that in the past I've done some of these things that might have been either inappropriate or might have been overwhelming to you. I'm not sure, and I'd love to get your feedback. Here's a couple quick examples. 1, 2, 3, just really fast. If I have upset you or overwhelmed you, that actually really bothers me. Here's the chain of events I've recognized that has led to my pattern being a little dysregulated, very briefly. And here's the gap. And here's what I'm going to be doing about that. I'm working about this. I'm learning about this. This is actually a trauma response I'm managing. In the future, I'm going to be a lot more regulated. I'm going to keep things very peaceful for both of us. That's my target goal. And I just wanted to let you know so you have context. In the meantime, as I'm working on that, can you let me know, has it been overwhelming? If so, how much? And how can I make this right so that you're more comfortable? That right there, full pattern. Notice no sorry, no groveling, no begging, no overindulging, and you're not giving 75 examples. Just very rapid, very quick. If you can think of any, if not, that's fine. Leave them otherwise. But just very brief context that shows you're doing something about it and invites feedback while also letting them know you're open to making the situation right. That's a great pattern for an apology, no matter what you're apologizing for, pretty much, to be honest. But especially in a case like this, where probably they're going to say, huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. You've just kind of shut down. I just wasn't sure why. That's probably more what's going to happen. So, okay. Onward in the comments. Aha, here's a question you guys upvoted. Oh, good one. Hey, Faith Elaine asks, hey, Adam, what do you mean by when we feel emotionally unsafe? This is a good one. Can you be more specific about what that looks like to be emotionally unsafe? Those of us who are used to it might not understand the signs. Yes. Okay. So emotional safety in a relationship requires 2 things. One, it requires you, the recipient, if you want to think of it that way, or you on your side. You have to be capable of recognizing and easing into an actual safe experience. So loud, disorganized people, for example, will perceive safe experiences and safe environments as unsafe. It's a trap. This is too good to be true. And they'll like jump out the window screaming and when they're being served like a ham sandwich or something. So instead, you need to make sure that you are self-regulated enough to be able to understand what a safe environment is. And then the second part is the other person providing that safe experience for you. Now, this is reciprocal. You should be doing this for each other. But here's what providing a safe experience means. You as a safe person and them as a safe person, you can share half-formed thoughts and then work through them out loud. You can share desires or needs without being criticized harshly, punished, rejected, and things like that. You can share something that was a concern or is a concern, and you'll resolve it together. Conflict resolution, cooperation during conflict instead of anger and defensive posturing. And when you have a situation that needs to be addressed, you can bring it up and they will work with you in a peaceful manner to negotiate a mutually fulfilling outcome. So the other person has to be calm and regulated enough, emotionally disciplined. Women say emotional discipline is the #1 most attractive trait in men, interestingly. Emotionally disciplined enough to negotiate in good faith, not judge or reject you for things. They'll ask more clarifying questions, and they'll ask questions to help you formulate your thoughts out loud, understanding that it's a work in progress, and they won't be attacking you or defensively posturing from their past trauma history and transposing that or transferring it onto you. All of that is a safe environment where you can be calm and open and I hesitate to say the word vulnerable. Most people are really uncomfortable with that. Even I am, because it's just not the right mix because it hits wrong. But personal and transparent. Vulnerability means being vulnerable means being personal and transparent. You have your personal context and you are being transparent about it. That's realistically what vulnerability means. And you're choosing to engage in activity that a person with acting in bad faith could weaponize, but you know this person is acting in good faith. So that's being vulnerable, but personal and transparent. So that's what safety feels like. And you have to be able to receive it, and they have to be able to give it. And then you reciprocate giving that back and forth to each other with more clarification, conversation, cooperation, all those really good C words that we're looking for. And that's the component of emotional safety. A lot of people don't recognize that, but that's what it is. Women especially are seeking this because usually women take the not subservient role, the slightly lower role in the hierarchy. So if the man is like the CEO, the woman's not the janitor or the assistant, she's the chief operations officer, but it's just slightly offset because the decision making process rests more on him and the problem solving rests more on him. So he has to take that position here. She manages the logistics and the operations. So everything needs to stay calm and stable. She needs a CEO who's emotionally stable, emotionally disciplined, emotionally calm and safe. So she can bring concerns to him and he can then not weaponize, he can then manage them and build them in without weaponizing them against her, is what I was going to say. Without weaponizing, you're just complaining, you're just whining. So that's typically why women are looking for emotional safety, stability, also for any children they might bear in the union. All of that is looking into that relationship structure. But men need emotional safety too. They just biologically are not going to call it safety because men don't seek safety. Men tend to seek unsafe situations to procure resources. So they're looking for peace. Once the unsafe components are done, they come back and immerse into peace. Men will describe it as peace. Women will describe it as safety. It's typically the same thing drawn from the same behaviors. It's just biologically described differently, if you want to think of it that way. So really great question, Faith Elaine. Thank you. Um, Looking for any other questions that you guys have. And again, that you've upvoted. I want your questions. How do you learn what attachment style you are? Good question. I have a free attachment assessment on my website, adamlanesmith.com. If you go on my website, adamlanesmith.com, there is a free attachment style assessment on there. I don't call it a quiz because the quizzes are like, Cosmo magazine kind of experience, or like take 5 questions and you get your life pattern forever. Take the attachment assessment on my website. It's under the resources tab. It's free. Um, Samantha, hi Adam. What signs of long-term dysfunction should someone with remade secure attachment be mindful of in a relationship with an ethical avoidant? Good question. When should you end the relationship if things don't get better? Really nice question. Long-term dysregulation to be mindful of. So their stress patterns. When they become stressed out, what do they do? Do they withdraw and push you back? Do they hide? Are they able to verbally give you needs and concerns and have conversations with you when you sit down and have those talks? Or do they pull in, become self-contained like an oyster, and you're locked out for however long and you have no control over it, and your desire to reconnect is rebuffed and pushed back? Especially with an ethical avoidant, I really look for any awareness of co-regulation. Most of them are 99% self-regulators, maybe begrudgingly 1% allowing others to co-regulate with them, and only through dopamine, and only when they have total control over the situation. Not like manipulation control, but they're like safe. It's like practicing safe sex to them is like wearing full plate mail armor with your face covered. That sort of safe, no vulnerability whatsoever. You're just your codpiece off. And that right there is the avoidant tendency to pull back and disallow, not only not allow, but disallow and shove away any attempts at co-regulation. And that's going to be deeply unfulfilling for a securely attached partner. It doesn't mean they're going to lash out at you hurtfully, though they might have irritability, but look for awareness of co-regulation and then willingness to co-regulate for you and with you. They need to receive co-regulation and be aware that it's there. Otherwise, you're going to be really frustrated in a relationship where you feel like you are never allowed to give anything, and you'll feel like a charity case. You'll feel closed out. You'll feel starved. You'll start to feel resentful and sad, and that's ultimately part of that problem too. Ambitious one. Good to see you. You've been on here for a very long time. Always glad to see someone who's been around for an OG. I work on and I'm aware of my attachment challenges. How do I know when an issue with my old pattern or a problem with my partner? Quite honestly, conversating with them about it. This is not something. No, this work. The goal of this work, you guys, is to get out of our heads and gain the ability to ask more questions. Remember, we talked about emotional safety a moment ago. The purpose of that emotional safety is then to go to the person and be able to ask questions. Hey, I'm having this response. I'm kind of weirded out right now. I'm kind of overthinking. I'm a little bit mad. I don't know if it's like me or if it's us. I don't know. Can we just kind of sort through this? Here's where I'm at. Okay, well, tell me more. Okay, well, is this what I'm doing? Like, what have you seen? Well, no, actually, I haven't really seen that. I guess maybe I'm just concerned it's going to happen. There we go. Now we can. That's how you sort out the answer, is a person who's asking you those questions. When your emotional brain is dysregulated, your logical brain diminishes to fuel the emotional storm. Then you go to somebody whose logical brain is engaged and you link up with them. If they're emotionally stable, they won't become dysregulated and upset. They'll be calm with you and then gradually soothe your emotional brain, restore your logical functioning. And then you click in like this. You can have those logical conversations. This is what you need to be doing. This is called co-regulation. People are supposed to be double emotional safe in a relationship, both of you emotionally safe for each other, so that when you're a bit dysregulated, you can go and co-regulate together, return to neutral, and then build forward into trust and intimacy. That's how that's supposed to work. So you won't know in your own head if it's an old pattern or a partner until you have a good conversation with them. Now, you can sit and wait and stew on it for a month or two and hope that you're able to calm down enough to do it yourself, but so much more efficient to just set aside 10 minutes, say, hey, can we have a quick chat? I'm not sure what's sparking me. Something's a little off. Can we talk about it? And they don't take it super personally and get super upset. So there we go. What's the best way to tell someone they're avoidant? Ooh, really great question. Queen Boo. If you watch my masterclass that I posted, it was a live stream last Thursday. I think something like 9,000 of you have watched it already. It's in the live stream section. It's tagged masterclass and how to talk to your avoidant partner without driving them away. In there, I answer that question specifically. There's 3 key steps I recommend. Go watch that masterclass. It lays out the best way to talk to someone about being avoidant without saying the word avoidant at all. It begins with praise, genuine, honest praise, using the word respect to really pull them in, give them a surge of testosterone and dopamine. And then it starts talking about opportunities that are being missed to engage their curiosity. And then it talks about partnering with them to engage fully in that opportunity and really draw out peace and contentment and pleasure together. And it really pulls them in a non-manipulative, non-coercive, non-tricking them kind of way. Definitely watch that masterclass. Again, that was last Thursday. Huge, huge, huge resource here on this channel, you guys. It's under the lives tab. Go tap not the regular videos, but the live streams, the lives. Click that and just scroll down to last Thursday for it says masterclass. It's the beginning of the name. So there we go. There's the questions. I'm going to jump over into chat. Look at you guys. You're blowing up. I love it. This is awesome. Okay. I'm going to go through here. And if you subscribers, members on the channel, it's different words, brain. If the members have questions, I'm going to answer them. And if members, you keep posting questions, I'm going to answer those too. Members, you get priority. You take care of me. I want to take care of you as well. Arkian, you look like you've lost weight. Thank you. I have actually. And I actually got my suits tailored in. I had to tailor my suits in and some of my shirts as well. So thank you. I appreciate you. We all got to take care of ourselves in different ways. MBR42, good to see you. That video is right up my alley. The why is so important when we're discussing the what and finding a better way. 100%. 100%. The biochemistry, yes. Got it. You look like a Matt. Thanks, Arkia. Not a Matt. Okay. Got generic white dude names. There you go. There you go. Yeah, somewhat. I feel like that time's got you, honey. Got it. Emily, good to see you, Emily. And good to see you, honey, as well. Hey, Adam, I was wondering about the neurological effects of being with someone who's avoidant. Does the inconsistency and pulling away create anxiety in the partner? Yes. It releases a pretty significant surge of cortisol, which the avoidant person understands. But it also increases oxytocin withdrawal, which actually initiates panic symptoms. Oxytocin withdrawal is for their brain a memory of feeling abandoned and unloved as a child and feeling like no one's ever going to come back. They're going to starve to death and die. So when you pull away, yes, they get cortisol, and it's like, okay, you're stressed out. I get it. The avoidant person will usually be like, look, I get it. You're stressed out. I pulled away, but calm down. But what they don't see is the existential life-threatening panic that is programmed into the anxiously attached person from in early infancy that is now surging. Now, I will say, it is the anxious person's responsibility to fix that response. It's a trauma in them that they must resolve. No one can resolve your trauma for yourself, and other people can't tiptoe around that. And if a person is with an anxious person, they must be aware of this and be helping them with it, not enabling and managing it for them, right? We're not babying them. And a lot of anxious people expect 100% co-regulation because they don't believe they can self-regulate. That's part of the problem. Not to demonize anxious people either, but that's the mental block, the external locus of control. But that's, Emily, that's what it is. That's the panic that you're seeing, is that existential level oxytocin withdrawal panic of I'm going to die. Please don't leave me. And yes, the cortisol that you experience, but that's why they look a little crazy like that, to be honest with you. I'm unsure a healthy level of detachment and expectations. I become so detached, also a strong fear of unpredictability. I'm trying to understand it neurochemically. So that's what that is with an anxiously attached partner in particular. Now, anybody can experience oxytocin withdrawal, and it hurts and it's painful, and that's where one reason we go through grief. When a healthy, secure person, when someone they love dies, they experience oxytocin withdrawal, and it's a couple of weeks of pain as we come to terms with the fact that we will never be able to engage in that unique, fulfilling bonding ever again, and share those experiences and share that connection and reinitiate that. And every oxytocin tag is unique and different because it's tagged uniquely to an individual. But immersing with more genuine oxytocin is usually the answer. And that doesn't mean, I've heard a really bad saying that the best way to get over someone is to get under someone new. That's not true. That's a rebound. It's just going to rebond you to the inappropriate person. But in this case, getting oxytocin through family and friends usually offsets some of that. And being aware of that is very important. Edith Amalia, Lou, good to see you. Welcome in here, and thank you for upgrading your membership. I'm very appreciative of you. Thank you. You're helping me support this channel. Thank you for helping me do my work. Arkin, I'm pretty sure I'm recently anxiously attached. A friend told me he thinks I'm also emotionally and mentally unstable. Well, the two can go hand in hand. Again, those biochemicals, as they flip back and forth, that can happen. That definitely can happen. It just, you have to be aware of how the attachment cycles are impacting you and your brain chemistry. There's also some learned helplessness that might be fixed in there too, that is really effectively bad for men in particular. It's what leads to male depression. Edith, my attachment test says I'm mildly anxious. However, I felt the need to isolate myself the past 4 months. I don't enjoy being with people. I don't know how to become more secure. Have you never enjoyed being with people, Edith? And the last 4 months through winter were especially harsh. These are the isolationist months where people get really locked in, cold, unhappy, and miserable. And this is known as the time of isolation and misery. Now we're breaking into spring, and that's starting to emerge a little bit more. And that's usually what starts to happen. So that's a normal pattern of what you're describing. Just let's be aware of it. So let me know. Have you never really enjoyed connection with other people? Andrea Johnson, question. I had a tendency of avoidance that I have since understood is overwhelmed with ADHD. Okay. Interestingly, if you've seen my video on when is ADHD not ADHD, there's an old video on this channel. A lot of people with ADHD also have attachment issues because they get yelled at their entire life for having ADHD brain. And so they get yelled at, and then it creates attachment issues too. So then they can have both. And some people don't have ADHD. They have really bad anxiety overwhelming them from attachment issues that creates brain chemistry similar to ADHD with some symptoms, but some key differences. So they can be both. I'm dating someone who's been diagnosed with ADHD also. Okay. Ethical DA. Okay. I took your test. I'm secure. Follow up. How to address ADHD with DA with two people with similar patterns. Conversations and systems. This is the reality of where we're at. These are going to be difficult things that could break down our relationship. Let's build systems that keep them intact. Let's schedule our couples time. Let's schedule individual creative time. Schedule time together, schedule time apart. So we both know what's happening. It's on that we don't have to think about it. We don't have to just like randomly figure out when to do it. That's not going to work. You're going to have to schedule your time out for each other in advance and then just set it and forget it and have reminders pop up. And you're like, oh, gonna do that. Oh, gonna do that. Oh, gonna do that. And have an out if one of you is just not able to at the moment. Okay, when can we just can we shift something in our schedule? Can we do some individual time right now? You recalibrate, then we come back in half an hour or 1 hour after you've resettled your brain or after you've got that fix, focusing on that project or whatever it might be. Talk about that, but the more conversations you guys can have and the more systems you can build, the better and more successful you guys are going to be. Edith, what do you think about? Oh, you answered. Usually I enjoy people. Okay, indeed. During winter, I enjoy staying in more indoors, watching movies. Totally with you. Totally with you. We are in that cycle right now. A lot of people through the winter time, they need a lot more vitamin D3, a lot more fish oil. These are the months when our ancestors packed in a lot of gathering holidays and being together, comfort foods for serotonin increase, oxytocin increase. Remember that surviving through the winter used to get us vasopressin bonding as well. Now we just turn on the heater. So a little bit differently, a little bit different. You don't have to ration the food and struggle to survive against the wolves outside the door. You could hire some people dressed as wolves to come attack you and fight them off, but not the same effect. We have very comfortable lives that have reduced a lot of the things that could have kept us there, but we still have seasonal patterns. So if you're now emerging from your winter cocoon and shedding your winter coat and feeling like you want to get back out there a little bit, now is the time to intentional reconnect. You're not the only one. Call up a friend, say, hey, I've realized I've been kind of isolated and I'm wanting to break out. Are you feeling that spring itch too? Let's get together and have lunch and catch up. It's been a little while. Now would be a great time to do that. What do you think about social media likes that avoidant men are doing? What do you think about social media likes that avoidant men are doing, even if they have a stable partner? Oh, I see. So they're on social media hitting like on other girls' photos. It's usually a dopamine binge kind of thing. It's similar to women opening up Amazon and going shopping and adding a million things into their buy later cart or onto all their various lists. It's just different because it's sexual components instead of like shopping components. It's similar to someone who's bored, so they eat some chocolates or ice cream. It's very similar. I'm not saying it's innocent. I actually think it's very inappropriate, but it serves much the same purpose biochemically. And we have too much access to like naked or half naked women now. Like you open your phone, you can see like any variation of any kind of human doing any kind of thing instantly. We are not meant for that. We really are not. There was a study done where they hooked up the probes into a monkey's brain and gave him the ability to inflict pleasure on himself into the pleasure area of his brain over and over and over. And they measured it and they had him just sit there and they gave him total unlimited control with food, water, everything he wanted. And what they found was he just punched the pleasure button over and over and over, began to get more and more emaciated because he wouldn't even pause to go eat, wouldn't even pause to drink water. And they had to stop the experiment for ethical concerns because he was about to die from starvation and dehydration because all he was doing was punching the pleasure button. Now, this monkey is all of us under the right conditions. All of us, as we start to engage in these behaviors, especially as we're stressed, we start to reach for more dopamine. And this is usually why guys are going on social media, doing what we call micro cheating of liking, commenting, DMing, like, hey, babe, those look nice, whatever. Like all of these inappropriate things. It's very inappropriate and it's not right. And I'm never going to say it's okay. But it also is fulfilling biochemically much the same purpose as, adding 57 pairs of shoes to your cart and just kind of wish listing and fantasizing. Very similar pattern. Okay. Very similar. So there we are. Yes, for other women. Gotcha. 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 It's completely inappropriate. 100%. It's not similar just because they all have dopamine. Okay, username, whatever you think. However, I will strongly disagree with you. It is massively in their eyes the same, especially for an avoidant person who is not having oxytocin bonding experiences. To them, sex is much the same as shopping. To them, the sexual experience is different. Now, to you, it might be different because you're having oxytocin experiences. a little bit different. And if you're a female, it's also going to be very different because your attraction is going to be very different as well. So keep that in mind. But it is the same biochemically. Again, still saying it's inappropriate. All right, you guys, great comments today. Great questions. Great conversation. Thank you so much for being here for this one. I am going to be live streaming in 2 days at exactly the same time. Thursday, 11 a.m. US Central Time. It is scheduled. Now, this one, the first 20 minutes were lost from tech issues. I was streaming and streaming and streaming. On the 4th attempt, YouTube finally let me through. Whatever I've done, YouTube does not like me right now. I have no idea, but I will be here on Thursday. So it's scheduled. I'll be there and I'll see you. Another one of these live Q&As, and we'll have a great conversation. So please take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon.